Tuesday, March 20th, and happy first day of spring to everyone that is watching and with us this evening. Unfortunately, it doesn't feel quite much like spring in Pittsburgh today.
Not at all. Freezing rain, sleet, snow.
We're in the heart of the nor'easter, it seems. So, yes, there's been some freezing rain today. We have a couple inches of snow. We're supposed to get a couple more, but we'll see. You never know.
Hopefully it's going to be the last of it, because I am tired of winter. At least we got a lot of toy soldiers to play with, so that should keep us warm tonight.
We do. And we hope everyone had a wonderful St. Patrick's Day last weekend. Thank you to all who came to the RSL Auction Gallery and participated in the Kirk Addis collection. It was a wonderful auction, and we really had a great time as always. And but we sold some toys last weekend in Banks. Now it's time to sell some soldiers.
Got a lot of them, don't we?
We do. We have over 600 lots on both Saturday and Sunday this weekend. We are selling the Dr. Edmund Pelletier collection. There are so many manufacturers. There are too many to list. The catalog right now is on liveauctioneers.com. As always, you can search for Old Toy Soldier auctions to find anything that you're looking for on there. And there's definitely something for every soldier collector. But we will be accepting bids up until an hour before the auction, so you can send them by email to raytoys@aol.com. You can call them in at 412-343-8733, or like I said, you can bid online or leave absentee bids on Live Auctioneers. And we also accept fax as well.
Any type, we'll take it.
Any type. But like I said, there's so many manufacturers. Just to name a couple, we have Britain, Tradition, King and Country, Dinky, Scrubbies, which was a new one that I hadn't heard of.
Never had any Scrubby toy soldiers.
We have Kirilu, Timpo, some Joe Hilco, FG Taylor, Crescent, Authenticast, Alamer, Barclay, Dorset, Greenwood and Ball, some Ping, All the Queen's Men, Hawker, just to name a couple. The list goes on.
Pretty much any manufacturer you want, we have.
We do. And with that being said, we're going to get started with
We're going to go right into it.
Of course.
Well,
actually, I'll show the catalog first. So
okay, there's
this
a
is the catalog, and we have some athletes on the front cover. We figured coming off of the Olympics not so long ago, we would feature them. They are composition figures. We have them here with us. We'll be showing them later. And then the back of our catalog there, so you can still order this on our website, but if you have it, you can follow along with us.
That's right. It's also online too.
And it's online at raytoys, RAYTOYS.com. So lot 1546.
Got the ultimate boys toy here. Who wouldn't like to play with a rocket like that? Look at that thing.
That's a rocket.
That is. You know what this is? This is actually was made by Fagardi. Fagardi is out of Shanghai, China now, and they produce very high quality soldiers and vehicles and things like this. This is their representation of the V2 rocket. Look at that. Now that's a rocket. Could you imagine throwing that at your little brother's head? The V2 is an interesting thing. It's an interesting thing to make a toy out of. This rocket was actually developed by Nazi Germany. It came out in 1945, the real thing. And it was basically, this was the first rocket that actually went into outer space. They launched them from Germany. It could reach England, was about their range, about 200 miles, I believe. And their guidance system still wasn't terrific, so they launched about 3,000 of these across the channel. And they would aim them roughly at the big cities, London primarily. And they really rained terror down on the people of England. So it's not like a fun toy when you look at its real application, but really the detailing on it and everything, I mean, I just think that looks super cool.
And it was modeled after an actual rocket,
yeah, that's
right?
the V2.
Is it pretty close to that?
Yeah, almost identical. If you look at the photos, it's, I mean, almost identical. Another interesting fact about the V2, Werner von Braun was this graduate student in Germany at the time. And really, it was his graduate work, thesis, that was the basis for this rocket. He later became, principal designer of this rocket. After the war, both the Soviets and the US, they essentially scoured all of Germany looking for these rockets in particular, or parts for these rockets. And really, it's because of this rocket and the scientists that both the Soviet Union and the U.S. were able to corral and bring back to their respective countries. That's what started the whole space race. These were the basis for the rockets that put men on the moon, and everything, all intercontinental ballistic missiles, little Kim Jong-un's missiles. This was the beginning of it all, essentially. But I think a great model.
It's a great model.
Right,
it would go very well with any space figures or astronauts or anything like of that nature. But it is lot 1546. Off into the sky it goes until it lands home with someone this weekend. All right, next, well, this is my favorite lot in the sale. It is lot 1618. It is a fox hunt band.
Look at those little guys.
They are absolutely adorable. It's a 12-piece set. They're 30 millimeters. It comes with a piano, and you can actually see the detail on the front of the piano there. There are the piano keys and the music, and there's a music stand, and there's all different instruments for them.
When do you think it was made?
We really had this listed, we're not sure. It was an unknown maker, but it was most likely probably made in the 70s.
Yeah, that looks right to me. 70s, maybe 80s. Super cute, nice scale.
It is, there are no markings on the bottom, but just judging based off of the paint and the condition that it's in, yes, we would say the 70s. But they're unboxed, and that's lot 1618. Or the Fox Hunt Band in their red coats.
Now different to a lot of the sales, we do have a lot of nice Britons in this sale, but it's not overloaded with Britons as some of ours. But this is one of the cleaner examples of set 133. What lot is it, Bree?
This is lot 1041. It is the Russian infantry.
The Russians. Beautiful, beautiful condition. 1930s production here, slotted base card. Nice patina, great luster to the figures. Box, very crisp. The corners aren't really worn too much. This is an excellent example of a pre-war Russian infantry.
We called this a Wistock box.
Fred Wistock designed the label on that.
I'll bring them a little closer so you can see. You can see the detail on them. The patina is beautiful. The box is very sexy and minty, as we like to see, the rare top-tier Britons. And that label is very clean. Like Ray said, this is all original. It has a beautiful end label on it too, right here. It says Russian Infantry, set number 133.
That it does, nice and clean.
So lot 1041. Next, we're moving on to some lots from day 2 of the auction. This is lot 2003. And we just have a couple figures with us, but the full set is actually 8 pieces. And this one comes unboxed.
Yeah, now this is one of the rarest sets. I was telling Bree, I don't know how many thousands of sets of Britons I've sold. I've never seen an incredible example of this set. Okay, this is the officer to the Spanish infantry, first version round base. So you can show them oval base. I always call them round, but they're technically oval.
Oval, yes.
Oval base. So that's the officer, non-movable arms. This was made by 1904 to 1907. Then here are the infantry figures with movable arms. The officer was fixed arm. The infantry figure has a movable arm.
Is there a reason why the officer was fixed and these are movable?
Just that's the way they designed it. And then whoever owned this set, they actually converted one of the infantry figures to an officer with a movable arm and extended sword. Now that's not really correct, but I guess whoever owned this set, they sort of wanted an officer with a sword to lead their troops, so they modified that figure. So you do have 8 pieces. One of them is a conversion, but extremely rare set. I've only seen the correct box for this maybe 3 times.
Oh, wow.
And in those cases, I've never seen a truly excellent example of all the figures, all 8 figures in an officer. These really are way above average, especially these 2 original figures here. They really are in beautiful condition.
They are. There's very little, if any, chipping. You can see the face and even the blushing on the cheeks with the mouth on them. It is a really, really nice set. I wonder why this one was such a hard one to find.
You know, I've talked to a lot of collectors about that, Bree, and no one really has a good explanation. When it was produced, Britain's was producing hundreds of thousands of sets a year. You know, they produced quite a bit. Spanish, I mean, they made Spanish Dragoons, the Carabinieri, oh, those are Italian, sorry. But they made a number of Spanish sets, Spanish cavalry. So why they didn't sell many of these, I really have no idea. But I guess they didn't. For some reason, it wasn't long lived in their catalog, and just not many were produced, and because of that, not many actually survived to today.
So this one could fill in some gaps in someone's collection.
Well, definitely, and most people will use these, and they'll have to complete a set, because again, I don't think I've ever even seen a complete matching set of these. There's always some sort of issue, so they're almost always pieced together.
Very interesting. So that one, for the Spanish infantry, the rare set, it is lot 2003 in the catalog. Next, we are moving on to this Army staff car that is lot 2036. It was made by Britons, and what really differentiates this one from the other staff cars that you might have seen is the split windshield in the front here. So they also make the full windshield version. Is there another version as well, Ray?
No, well, that's it. There'd be
Just
a
the
full
two?
windshield. Pre-war, the windshield would slip over, and then they made this for a short period post-war, right after. They call it split windshield, because you can see how it's two individuals.
And this is two pieces, so the drivers will lift out of the car.
And the drivers are cast together as one piece, two of them. They don't have legs either.
They don't have legs.
That's
how they fit in here
fit in the
perfectly.
car.
So they fit in there, and it does come with this very nice box as well that says rubber tired Army staff car made by Britons. It also wraps around the edge there, gives you the set number of 1448 made in England.
Exactly.
So it's very, very nice set.
I like
looking for a
that. For
staff car.
vehicles, I think it's one of the prettier vehicles.
And so lot 2036. Next, we are moving on to a crescent set. This is a rodeo set.
I love the box.
Yes, it has a beautiful, beautiful box. And that's really what drew us to this lot in particular. I just found that the graphics on it were so neat. You have the mounted officer, the mounted on a, I can't even see what I'm looking at. Hold on, I'm flipping it towards me. The mounted lifeguard on a horse. You have, the foot figures and all different. So you have the Cowboys and Indians. But this one is lot 2063, and it is Crescent set 2200. It's a post-war set.
But mint still originally tied in the box. Great condition. Not terribly rare, not going to be terribly expensive, but you really can't beat the condition. If you like Western figures, some beautiful figures in there.
Yes, and I really love the striped tie card that they are tied to. I really think that it gives it a lot of character with the polka dots and the yellow stripes.
Nice little wallpaper.
Yes, more wallpaper. So we'll set this one back over here. So once again, that set was lot 2063. Next, we're moving on to the Bluebird race car, which is lot 2065.
Okay, and this is set number 1400.
You can see the little driver there, his little helmet.
So they made this two ways. They made it as set 1393 and 1400. You know what makes this 1400 and not 1393?
What would that be?
Lift the body off. 1400 has a removable body. So the cowling actually comes off, and then you can actually see a representation of the Bluebird. The Bluebird was Sir Malcolm Campbell's car, and they raced the Bluebird. Him and his family designed many Bluebirds. This was one of the first ones. 1933 broke the speed record, land speed record at Bonneville Salt Flats at 277 miles an hour.
That's pretty fast.
They called this the Campbell Railton car. Now, Britons also made the John Cobb Wonder car, which was designed or owned by Cobb, but Railton was the designer. So Railton designed both of these high-speed cars.
Oh, wow.
And Britain's represented in both in miniature models. Now, a lot of the other English companies did too. There's a lot of collectors that like land speed record cars, and there's been a lot of land speed record cars over the years. But Dinky made an example of this. Corgi made an example of this.
Are they all this scale?
No, they're all different scales. They actually made some large ones. Some of the German manufacturers that really don't fall into the toy soldier realm. They're more car
Toys.
collectors, or people that collect automotive toys. These tend to congregate more in soldier collections, but a lot of automotive collectors do like to buy them. Beautiful cars, and I love the ones with, that you can take the chassis off and see how the actual engine worked and everything.
See how it actually went 270 miles an hour. But there's even a little detail on the front here that I didn't show before, but there's the flags crossing right over there on
I believe
the
I
hood.
believe they're U.S. and English flags, I think.
Yes. So that is our Bluebird.
That is a racing car. What do we got
Racing
next, Bree?
car. Next, we are
Oh.
moving on to lot 2069.
Well, the only reason I think I picked this is the other day I was talking with a buddy of mine, and we were talking about the Boy Scouts and how they used to have the soapbox derby. So this is what is it?
Yes, it's a Charbon soapbox set. It's a 3-piece set, and it was just a unique set that once again, stood out to us in the catalog. We felt that it was in great condition, all original. It does not have a box, but this, the little child that's racing in the soapbox, he actually comes out. So like I said, it makes it 3 pieces in total.
Yeah, nice piece. I like all the pieces. And tough piece to find.
It makes me want to go soapbox racing, which is something I've never done. Have you done it?
I did when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah, Boy Scouts, that's what you did.
So did you
also,
make it?
You also made, well, these were the big ones. So that you had to pass, but the Boy Scouts, you would always make these small little soapbox derby cars, and that's, we would race those. I was talking to my friend, and we don't think they do that anymore. That was
I'm not sure.
highlighted in my ear. I know.
I'm not up to date with what the Boy Scouts do these days, but
Me either.
it's pretty neat. So that was lot 2069. And drum roll, we're moving on to our cover lot.
Cover lot. These
This
are
is-
very rare. There's a lot of composition in this sale. We have a lot of tin plate, a lot of Hauser, Elastoline, and Lineal. These are some of the rare Elastoline figures that you'll
Yes,
find.
these were German Athletic Club
Figures.
figures, yes.
So they're called, it was the Deutsch Turnerbund, which is the German athletic club. And if you look, here, let's show them the flag bearer here.
Yes, the flag bearer is a really nice piece. The flag is detachable, and it does sit in the holder there.
So if you see the flag bearer, and if you look at the flag and on the front of the shirts, you see DT, Deutsch Turner. And that's what it stands for. 1929. And I believe a number of these were represented. This was sort of like the athletic club that a lot of the German athletes belonged to that then went on to the Olympics. So sometimes you'll see these referred to as the Olympic figures, but they're actually the German athletic club.
Yes, so
It's all rare.
they are rare. And the Olympics were happening in Pyeongchang when we chose this as the cover, I believe. But they're very nice, and they say Elastoline on
Yeah,
the
all are marked
base as
Elastoline.
well.
All 4 of these figures look like they've probably been a different time production. So we're selling them as one lot, just sort of to keep them together. But they were probably purchased over a period of time.
Yes, so that lot, there are 4 pieces there, and that was $21.41. Next, we're moving on to lot $21.99, which is an Elastoline plastic siege tower, which I think is quite the showpiece.
I love these.
It's really neat, and it is in working order. So you would turn this, and it lifts it up and down. You
I think
should.
you got the lock on somewhere.
Hold on one second. Oh, there we go. It was
There
just
we
this
go. So it would go up. So you know how this would work in real life, Bree? So this is when
Yes.
they would have a siege on a castle.
Right.
And show them
And
some
so
of the
they would get
figures
in.
over here.
So this
So-
he's actually climbing on the ladder.
You got a ladder climber back here. He would actually climb up multiple stories on here. An
This one
Archer
would have a
usually be
hose.
on top. Whoop, that fell off, but Archer would stand on top, and he should actually have a bow, and he's actually automated. It actually would shoot. And you could push like a lever behind him, and he would actually then engage and shoot an arrow. So they would wheel this up using his protection. They get up to the castle. This would go down onto the castle rampart, and then everyone would stream on through. Very popular. They sold a lot of these over in America. There's 3 different versions of it. This is the first version. We call these opalescent bases. So there's 3 different versions of Elastlin. They're all plastic figures. What makes this interesting, and unfortunately, I think the set's missing 3 figures. The Archer's actually broken. But why don't you show them? We call this opalescent base. You can show them the base real close, Bree, because this is a good thing for people to learn. Okay, you see how it almost looks, and I don't know if it's coming through, but it almost looks like mother of pearl. Okay, so that's one of the things that you're looking for to determining when a plastic figure was made. The other thing with these, and this is sort of second version. The first version, the figures are completely painted. Okay, this version here, you have an opalescent base, but the arms are essentially a pink plastic, excuse me, and they would actually paint the clothing on and the footwear. So this is the second or the third version, but it's fairly rare. The last version, which is just pink plastic, they have a green base. Those are the most common. And this actually came in a box too, that I think is very pretty.
It is. The box is really pretty. As Ray said, this set does have 3 figures missing, but I just think that it's really, really neat. I think the detail on it and the fact that it still works makes it very special.
Well, they made a whole series too. They made like crossbow, they made catapults, they made all kinds of siege equipment.
And this is the box. So
Great box.
as you can see, there would have been another bowman up top there and another gentleman crawling up the ladder. But the box is just really neat. So it all fits into there. And it says Elastlin on it, but I think that the box is in great condition as well.
Yeah,
All in
it
all,
is.
it's a very nice set.
We sell a lot of these. They end up going back to Germany in particular because they were made almost exclusively for the U.S. market. So not many were sold over there.
And we wanted to feature it because it's just something that we don't necessarily feature on the show so much that it's made out of plastic, but we do sell plastic in our auctions, and we have soldiers available for not only plastic collectors but also metal and lead collectors. So
Exactly. Something for everyone.
Just saying. Just
Something
saying.
for everyone. All right.
Not to mention the plastic's a little bit lighter, so that's
lighter.
nice. But so once again, that one was lot 2199. Oh, I thought I was moving on to that set, but I was jumping ahead. I'm going on to the Heidi Clown on elephant, and this is a German figure. It's a single figure with no box, but we just thought it was very interesting. It's a Nippet. It was lot 2394.
I think great form. Yeah, a clown riding an elephant's back. Cute, you know, any circus collector, you know, something that I think would really enhance your collection. And, you know, and fairly rare. I've only seen the figure once or twice before.
It is. He's just really nice, and I think the clown is painted. I love that yellow and the blue and the red polka dots on the clown. So if you're a Heidi collector, lot 2394, clown on elephant might be for you. Next we have lot 2354, which is made by Eureka Beiser.
Right.
This is an interesting set.
Okay, why I wanted to show this, okay, and mainly it's the box front here. Okay, this set, Eureka was the first American manufacturer of toy soldiers that we believe was commercially viable. And they started in 1898. We call them, it was Charles Beiser started the Eureka Toy Soldier Company. And there's a lot of advertisements and a lot of research is done on this company because it really is truly the first American toy soldier company. They were in Brooklyn, New York. They moved a lot in their first couple years. But why I wanted to show the label is this is still listed as Eureka Metal Company. Okay, in 1904, they went to Beiser. So this you can date between 1898 and 1903, which is the very first of American production, just a couple years behind the English production and a couple years behind then the German production.
And it still does say Beiser Inventor on the side, so it has both names listed. And it says the only tray in the world that displays soldiers in a standing and natural position without the aid of thread or wire.
That is true. Now, unfortunately, we don't have the base plate for this one, but I do have some of the figures to show you. So this is the officer.
Beautiful officer.
And this is a red and gray set here. So we believe that they were supposed to represent North and South. I'm not sure why the colors they chose were gray, but those are figures with ramrods. And then these are standing on guard.
So we've got the red versus the blue, looks like.
So, I mean, American Holocaust figures, compared to Britain's and the German manufacturers, they tend to be fairly crude, much more toy soldier-like than sort of a modern representation of a military figure. But in general, that's the difference between American toys and European toys. They came with like these pop-up tents.
And these are really what I love. So they do go flat, as you just saw, but there's a wire in the middle that you can hold up. Let me get it in the right position so that it doesn't fall. And I just think that it makes the set. It stands out, and it's unlike anything that you see in the typical sets. And I think that it's just really cool.
Yeah. Now, most of these sets were designed, they would call them knockdown sets. So most of them either came with cannons or a pop gun, where you would actually, the figures would be standing up on a board and you would knock them down. But they did just make them that they would actually be presented in a deep box like that. So more of like a shoe box that you could then take the lid off and they'd be sort of all just standing upright in there. So they made a nice presentation.
What would the tie card look like if we had it, Ray?
It looked like we've had them before. It's sort of like
the knockdown sets, but
it's
this
sort of
one...
a thicker cardboard. Usually has like a white vellum sort of on it, and the knockdowns will have these metal clips that are sort of like a hinge. So you shoot them with
These
the cork,
wouldn't
they would
have
flip
that,
down.
though.
Those would not. We
So-
had some of these in a couple sales ago. We had some with this. The officer has these two little nubs on it, and the tie card basically was sort of like green grass, and then this would actually fit down, and they would give it a quarter turn, and these little nubs would sort of slide under and hold it in position.
Okay. So it would slide as opposed to string?
Yeah, it was. It sort of worked like the Britain's base card.
Okay. That's
So
what I
it
was
sort of
envisioning.
works
I
like
just was
this,
curious.
but it was a flat piece, and the figure would go in, and it was oval, so you put it in, and then just give it a little quarter
Twist.
turn, and then it would.
It would lock it in.
It would lock it in. It wouldn't like necessarily stay in, but it will.
You don't want to throw it across the room now,
Right.
but
I mean, it would sort of hold it
stand up.
in position.
Okay.
But what I like about them, and some of the very, the collectors that love American history, there's a number of early American manufacturers, Felix, Hahn, Beiser, they were all sort of right at the turn of the century. And again, they were the first American manufacturers of these. So for people that like Americana, American antiques, these are highly desirable.
Very nice. So that was, once again, circa about 1905. As Ray said, very, very early. The box isn't as mint as we would like it, but it's still a beautiful box, and the end label is really what makes it.
Yeah,
So
that's why I wanted to show it. The end label, you don't see that end label in that good of condition. Again, sort of like that Spanish infantry, very difficult to get these figures in nice condition.
And they are. The figures, very little chipping, very little rare with the oval bases. So it's a nice set overall, and that is lot 2354 if you're an early collector. And next, we're moving on to another really neat set in this auction. It is lot 2400. It is a Premier Japan, very rare, boxed football set. They are tied in, and it's really, in my opinion, the neatest football set that I've seen.
Well, it is. I mean, a lot of people like collecting football and baseball. For some reason, very few companies made either of them. all football and baseball players are very rare. And even soccer players, like the English, you'd think there'd be many more
Yes.
soccer players, but there aren't. But this is a football set. It has a great label.
Beautiful label.
Made in Japan.
Fight, team, fight. You ready to do a cheer?
It's called by a company that made it's called Perfection. Okay, and it's still originally tied in the box. But just there's so few choices when it comes to football figures. None of the dime store companies made them. Well, I take that back. Auburn Rubber. They actually made rubber football players. Again, these are Japanese. None of the other manufacturers produced them. You will see some aluminum football players from time to time. But, for some reason, you would think every company in the world would have made them, but for some reason they didn't.
Right.
You show them the
Yes, and this is really neat too. So I think this is just the final touch on that. As you can see, the tie card that I lifted out sits in here, and there are people painted and illustrated in the stands. I think that it's just in there. Yes.
Logos, yeah.
Goalpost. You can see the locker rooms where the teams would come out there. It's amazing. It's so neat that the time and the detail that they spent on this, and even the people in the stands. I know you can't see all of it up there, but there's a gentleman cheering. There's a woman that has her arms crossed. She looks a little upset. Her team's probably losing.
How's she look?
And someone's yawning. They look like they're about to fall asleep. So it is very, very detailed, and they all have their own outfits on and hats on, and it's
nice
a
graphics.
very cool set. If you're a football fan, or if you're just looking for an interesting, unique soldier set for your collection, this is the set for you. It's lot 24.
What's it say on the label there? Fight, team, fight.
Yes, fight, team, fight. That's what I said. I said, get your cheer. You cheering?
I'm cheering.
I want to see the cheer skills.
You're the cheerleader over there. I'm more the manager in the operation.
Yes. Okay. So that was lot 2400. Next, these two sets we found were really neat as well. One is lot 2391, and they were manufactured by a company called AHI. And what it stands for is Azrak Hamway International. They were also Japan. They were die cast, and they were made in the 50s and 60s.
They made a whole set. So who do we have here?
We've got
Who do you got?
Donald.
Donald.
We have
Pluto.
Pluto.
Wait, is that Pluto?
That's Pluto.
Well, who's that?
That's
oh,
Goofy. We have Goofy.
Someone knows her Disney.
Of course, we have Mickey, the world famous Mickey. And this is the piece
very special
that drew me to the set. So this is Dumbo. And typically when we've seen, or the Disney sets that we've sold in the last couple years, did not include Dumbo. So I found that this one was interesting to include him with his big ears, and I always loved Dumbo growing up too, so I thought that it was a more complete Disney set. I know that we don't have Minnie, and I'm not sure if the set actually came with Minnie or not.
I'm not sure either.
But we have it unboxed, and we're selling them as a set of 5. So like we said, it includes Mickey, Goofy, Donald, Pluto, and Dumbo. And
yeah, that AHI is interesting too, because Bree was doing some research. So I guess it was actually started in the US, but they manufactured in Japan.
yes, there was a couple, and their names were Azrak and Hamway. Those were their last names. That's how they came up with it. Manufactured in Japan, but they ran the company out of New York. They eventually purchased Remco, and they purchased them for their rights, similar to as, you have to, there's all these characters under the Disney umbrella. At that time, there were characters under the Remco umbrella, and they included Star Wars and Dream of Genie, and those are the two that I can think of off the top of my head, but they just included TV series and different things like that. So it then became more of Remco. But that is what AHI stands for. So
Yeah.
Azrak Hamway International.
Interesting though. I mean, they're nice figures. They're metal figures, hollow cast, made in Japan. They usually sell for a fraction of the English and the German figures. So, you know, I think they're very good.
And they're
buys.
nice.
No,
I mean,
they're
just
real
because,
nice.
I mean, they're Japanese, but you know what? The quality's very nice. And these ones are in nice condition. Their faces are nice. So just as the football set, these are nice. And sticking with our AHI theme, this is lot 2399. And it's a Robin Hood set. And I love the illustration behind there. So you can see the castle, and they have the figures. We've got a guard, Little John, Robin Hood, Will Scarlet, Friar Tuck, and another guard. So those are all the ones that we have there.
And you got the whole story of Robin Hood right there.
We do.
So again, beautiful set, beautiful figures. I mean, you know, I've sold the Taylor Barrett set of these for $2,000. These figures are every bit as nice. Tie card, colored tie card. This set will probably sell for just a little over $100.
It's set 5700R to fill in holes if, you know, if you're an AHI collector. But
All those AHI collectors.
yes,
out
all the
there.
AHI collectors. But yeah, so the story of Robin Hood, and it's interesting. It's
It
very
is.
interesting. You typically don't see that in sets like this. So it's a really nice summary, a cliff note, as you might
Cliff
say,
note, that's
on
right.
Robin Hood. And that was the last lot we had to show today. Thank you, Keith
always
and
goes so
Paula,
quick.
for getting all of them to us
Thank you,
safely
Keith and
here in
Paula.
Pittsburgh. And everything was very nice, and we have so many lots to sell this Saturday and Sunday. So please join us at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on March 24th and 25th, once again this weekend, as we sell the Dr. Edmund Pelletier collection and other properties. And you can jump on Live Auctioneers. We're accepting bids all the way up pretty much an hour before the sale, so you can call, fax, email, or watch online live as the sale goes on. Also, we would like to announce that we've started a new series on YouTube
A
called,
new series.
of course,
What's this one?
this one's called Adventures with Ray and Bree.
Adventures.
We're spicing it up a little bit. Just
Very
a little.
good. We're always up
So-
for an adventure.
This series, how it's different from Live with Ray and Bree on Facebook, is that it's not live. But even though it isn't live, it is pre-filmed and edited, and we are doing interviews with collectors, and we are doing,
Sounds great.
Yes.
Ah.
So we're diving deeper a little bit, I guess you could say, into the hobby of collecting that we love so much. And you can look for that on YouTube. But the easiest way, truthfully, to get to our videos on YouTube right now or on Facebook is just Google Ray and Bree. So it's RAYANDBRE, 3 words, and all of them come right up. So you won't have any problems finding them there. Also, just wanted to mention that there are still items available for retail sale in the Ray Harridan Toys of Yesteryear catalog.
Not many, but some.
There are some. So there's some available. If you are interested in anything specific, you could give us a call or and take a look at that. It's on raytoys.com. And also, the new February issue of Old Toy Soldier magazine is online and on stands now. So if you have not read it, you can jump online and log in and look at that. But our most exciting announcement of this evening, I would say. Everything's pretty
more
exciting.
exciting than the auction?
No, I mean, I guess, okay, they're all equal excitement level. That's
Is it
not
more
fair.
exciting than Adventures with Ray and Bree?
Well, Adventures with Ray and Bree might have a couple exclusive interviews in there. That's
true,
all I'll say.
That's true. So what do we got so exciting?
Well, RSL, this June 2nd and 3rd,
Oh, I forgot about
is
this.
going to be auctioning the famed Mechanical Bank collection of Tom Sage Sr.,
Papa Sage.
or Papa Sage, as he is more widely known in this world.
Very exciting. He
is.
selected RSL to sell his bank collection.
So Tom Sage Senior's collection is coming up at RSL, and also the world-renowned Still Bank collection of Dr. Z. And along with his still banks, we will be auctioning his American tin toy collection and folk art. So that's
It's
very
going to be
exciting.
quite a sale. I mean, those are 2 fantastic collections.
And if that wasn't enough,
There's more.
we're also auctioning an outstanding collection of pristine mint in box layman's.
Some great labels.
They are,
Boxer Rebellion, Primus,
yes,
you know, Mr. and Mrs. Layman.
they're amazing. We are in the process of building the catalog right now. Can't wait to share them with everyone. There
Gorgeous.
are over 50 of them that have their original boxes. Some of these are the ones that I've personally only seen in the books. They haven't been on the auction block in probably about 30 years. And it's just, we are so thrilled to have the collection. And along with the layman's, we also have some beautiful hand-painted German tin toys made by Guntherman.
That's what I'm really excited about. I mean, incredible condition. Just gorgeous, gorgeous toys. Many of them bought in the 80s from the famous dealer, Paul Sadegurski. Gorgeous, gorgeous toys.
Yeah, so highly recommend that you join us June 2nd and 3rd in Oldwick, New Jersey at the RSL Auction Gallery.
Or you can be with us online.
Or you could be with us online. But if you can make it on June 1st, Leon and Angela Weiss are hosting a gourmet barbecue and raw bar. It is going to be tented outside at their home, so anyone attending the auction is cordially invited, and you can contact us and we will get you on the RSVP list.
Perfect.
And I think that's
Is that
everything
it?
that we had tonight.
Boy, it goes quick.
It did. But we'll see you. We're taking a mini hiatus here, but we'll be back. We'll see you in a couple weeks. We're heading to the Chicago Toy Show on April 21st.
Yep.
So until then.
And all this week, Bree and I will be around taking your bids, so give us a call if you have any questions.
Yes, we certainly will. So keep those bids coming and happy collecting. We'll see you Saturday and Sunday.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks for watching.